Hello, how's it going, guys? This is the CS student here, and today we're going to be doing one of the challenges from the HackTheBox CTF that just passed, called Cyber Apocalypse 2023. The name of the challenge is called Hijack. There is a very small description saying that the security of the alien spacecrafts did not prove very robust, and you have gained access to an interface allowing you to upload a new configuration to their ship thermal control system. Can you take advantage of the situation? And then without raising any suspicion, and then they give you an IP with the port. So let's just get into it. First of all, let's see what it is, and I know by a fact that it's netcat. So we connect to it, and we see that there are three options: 1, 2, and 3. Create a config, load a config, and exit. So first thing that I did was, well, I don't know how a configuration looks, so let's just create one. And then it tells you temperature in units, and then you can say, for example, Celsius, and propulsion component target temperature just 12, 12, 12. So I'm just gonna fill all these values with any number, right? Auto calibration on, and see what they get. And this looks quite familiar to me. I don't know if you guys have experience with base64, and this looks like base64. However, bear in mind this part: serialized config. So serialized is a good thing to keep in mind, okay? Now let's try to load the config since we already got it and see what happens. And it says unable to load config. So that's just weird for us because we created it with their own settings, right? Anyways, let's just exit and see how the configuration looks after we do the base64 decoding. So we put that here and we just decode it and see what we get. And we can see that this looks similar to something called PyYAML, Python for YAML for Python, right? And also they mentioned before serialized. So that starts to make more sense to me. So now what I can do is I can try to make my own stuff, right? I have gone through other challenges before in which I know that Python and other serialization objects have issues when they deserialize the object, right? And so that's what we're gonna do. I'm going to HackTricks because I know by a fact that they have some information about it. And in HackTricks you can find a lot of things, right? However, there is this one called Sleep that was the very first one that I tried. This one over here. Python object applied time sleep 2. So what this is meant to do is it's meant to make the payload sleep for 2 seconds. Let me just put it here so you can see it. Oops. Over here, and as you can see, it just this little command, right? So if we pass this into the serialization command or configuration, and we hope for the best that it will sleep for 2 seconds. In this case, I'm just gonna make it 4 just so it's better. But we also need to pass it in base64, right? And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do this and dash n so we don't get any line spaces, like new line spaces. W0 is just in case the string is too long so it doesn't cut it in many components. And let's just copy paste this. Let's go to the NC that we had before, load the configuration, and let's see what happens if we load the configuration. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, it seemed to work. And that's good news for us because it means that when they deserialize this, it run the command, it run the sleeping for 4 seconds. That's good for us, bad for them. Now, let's go back to what we had before. And well, now how can we get the flag? That's the question. We are sure that the flag is in there. We are 100% sure that the flag is in there, right? So we can possibly, like either get a reverse shell or simply just print the command, print the flag, which is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go for the second option. But how do we do that? Well, so there are different ways to do it. I made a payload, which we can see it now, payload.yaml, and I will start to explain what it does. So there is this payload called payload.yaml, right? What I'm doing is I'm gonna make the same thing as before, Python object apply, and instead of that, the time one, I'm gonna open this library called subprocess. Subprocess will allow us to open a new kind of command, and in this case we have to make it into a tuple because the commands are nested in a tuple, right? And we have to put cat as the first part of the command, and flag.txt, which is what we want as the second part of the command. This wouldn't look different from just saying subprocess.popen, and then, if I remember properly, it will be something like this, cat, and then flag, or maybe just without this, something similar to that, right? Anyways, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep it this way, and we're gonna serialize it. However, as you can see, it has like multiple lines, and it's just a bit different from the one line command that we just sent. So, but anyways, let's just quit and let's just cut the payload and pass it into base64 and W0, so there are no lines. So we get all this payload, and let's see if we, by running this, will help, and it will do the command. So let me just submit a little bit more, load configuration, and just send this. And as you can see, it actually worked. So here we go, and it just says, is it just me, or is it getting caught in here? There we go, guys. That's the flag for this one. Just remember, serialization can be dangerous if you don't use it properly, so be careful when you make your programs. Let me just submit the flag so you guys can see that it's the right one. There we go. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the challenge and learned a little bit about serialization. Feel free to follow, and see you in the next challenge. Bye.